Hello, my name is John Kimura, and welcome to my biology presentation on the different types of cellular transport. This video will be covering the cell membrane, as well as the different types of cellular transport stated here. I will begin by explaining the cell membrane. The cell membrane is made up of things called phospholipids, composed of two different parts. The phosphate head, which is hydrophilic, meaning that it wants to be around water, and the lipid tails, which are hydrophobic, or want to be far away from water. These phospholipids naturally arrange themselves in such a way that the heads make up the outer edges of the cell, while the tails reside within, protected by the layers of the heads. However, cells must be able to transport things in and out of the cell. They do this through two different methods of cellular transport. The first is passive transport, which requires no energy. This is due to a particle's natural tendency to desire distance between itself and other similar particles. Due to this tendency, particles will attempt to spread themselves out as much as possible. This process is called moving across the concentration gradient from areas of high concentration to low. There are two different types of passive transport, simple and facilitated. Certain substances can pass freely through the cell membrane, substances such as water, carbon dioxide, and alcohol. These are all small enough to pass through the cell membrane on their own. However, this is not the case with all molecules, which is where facilitated diffusion comes into play. Say a large molecule wants to enter a cell, such as glucose. In order to do this, it must pass through a protein channel, which is a gate made of protein on the surface of cell membranes. Note that this is still passive transport, as it still follows its concentration gradient. The second type of cellular transport is active transport, which requires energy to complete. This is because, rather than moving with the concentration gradient, it moves against it. In order to do this, the cell uses a molecule of ATP, or adenosine triphosphate, which, as its name suggests, is three phosphates attached to one adenosine. One type of active transport is bulk transport. Say there is a group of things which the cell wants in the extracellular space. The cell will fold a small amount of its membrane, which will wrap around the desired objects and then absorb them. The membrane then pinches off the section and transports the objects to the part of the cell it is needed. This small amount of the cell membrane is also sometimes called a vesicle, giving this type of transport its alternative name, vesicular transport. To conclude, cells are separated from their outsides by a layer of phospholipids known as the cell membrane. Cells get things through the cell membrane through the two different types of cellular transport, passive and active. Passive transport requires no energy and can be done through the cell membrane or through protein channels, whereas active transport requires energy and can be done through pinched-off segments of the cell membrane in a process called bulk transport. Thank you for listening to this video. That's the end of it.